Move on to the Wednesday Night Blitz. Again, NXT and AEW going head-to-head. We'll begin with NXT first. It took place from Full Sail University in Winter Park, Florida. This was taped earlier in the day on Wednesday. Tom Phillips served as the host and also as an announcer in the arena there. We had the return of Mauro Ranallo and Beth Phoenix. They were on the call here. No Nigel McGuinness to be found. It was later found out that Mauro and Beth were not in the arena. They were voicing the show from their homes, respectively, in California for Ranallo and North Carolina for Phoenix. The show got underway with the interim NXT Cruiserweight Tag Team Tournament. We had a match here between Isaiah Scott and El Hilo del Fantasma, the former King Cuerno, and Lucha Underground. We had a pretty good match here, I thought. They just go back and forth for a while. In the end, Swerve Scott got the win with a crucifix pin on Fantasma, so they're all even up at 1-1 there. Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good match. We had a promo next from earlier in the day. Dominik Dijakovic took issue with the comments that Johnny Gargano had laid out on last week's program, and he challenged him to a match, which we will eventually get here. It's coming up soon. So during the commercial break, we came back, and then during the commercial, we had seen an angle here where El Hilo del Fantasma, aka the former King Cuerno, fought off the Masked guys again, the rip-off versions of the Dark Order, I would say. This time inside the Performance Center, so that's 2 weeks in a row that Fantasma has been able to fight them off. Whether it's revealed he's part of it or not, we'll have to wait and see. Something tells me he might be part of this faction at some point. Next up, we had Candice LeRae and her first action since great promo she cut. She took on Casey Catanzaro here. She came out, LeRae did a new theme, new gear, and a new entrance video that dubbed her the Poison Pixie here. Johnny Gargano had given her a complimentary ring introduction and remained at ringside during the match. Catanzaro got some offense in on her, but ultimately Candice LeRae rightfully won. She won with her new finisher. It's called the Wicked Stepsister, which is basically a standing surfboard position and then a kick to the back of the head. And that was it. So she got the win with that. And then she put Catanzaro in the Gargano escape after the match to really send home the point. We go backstage next. Damian Priest cut a promo about his upcoming match with Keith Lee. That's in the main event here of the show, so we look forward to that. And what was probably the most cringe thing on the entire show here, Matt Riddle and Timothy Thatcher, they are the NXT Tag Team Champions. Thatcher on the interim here. They entered the arena, and Riddle surprised Thatcher with a game show segment, which was god-awful. The newly bred show. Byron Saxton, who looked like a complete goof here, was the host. So basically what it was Matt Riddle and Timothy Thatcher playing a rip-off version of the Newlywed Game here. This was so lame, so corny, so much a waste of time here. They had canned laughter and applause and all that. Thatcher wasn't really in on it. I mean, I say what you want here. Thankfully, this nonsense came to an end with Imperium's attack. We had Fabian Eichner and Marcel Bartel here. They came out to finally beat down these guys, and then they posed over Thatcher with the belts after they did a number on him in the ring. So we had that. We had a promo from talking about WWE's relationship with the Make-A-Wish Foundation, which apparently was the 40th anniversary. So that's a long time. Apparently WWE's done more Make-A-Wish Foundation requests than anyone, so that's kind of cool, I guess. We had Adam Cole reveal in a promo that William Regal had set up an NXT title match for him next week on the next program against Velveteen Dream. He basically cut a promo about how he still doesn't think Velveteen Dream is worthy, so we'll tell you why they're going to be doing that. NXT Women's, apparently this was a title match. We had Charlotte Flair taking on Mia Yim here. I've gotten mixed signals here. Some said it was a title match, and others said this was non-title. I think this was a non-title match, but anyways, this was pretty much almost all Charlotte here. Mia does get a little bit of offense in, but Charlotte wins by tap out with the figure 4 bridged into the figure 8. Io Shirai came out to confront Charlotte after the match, and we had that. We had another vignette played for Karrion Kross, a.k.a. Killer Kross, and Scarlett Bordeaux. They are promoted to be on the next show next week, so there you go. And then we also learned that next week Finn Balor will address the attack on himself, so Yeah, we had that as well. Dexter Lumis and Shane Thorne had a match here next. This was all Dexter Lumis here. Looked very strong here. He won with the he got the victory with the Katagama choke here, and Lumis got the win here. Backstage, Keith Lee cut a promo on Damian Priest, hyping up their match for later on. Next up, we had another interim NXT Cruiserweight Tag Team Tournament match here with Drake Maverick taking on Tony Nese. Very good match. I thought, again, these guys told a great story, but ultimately Drake Maverick did get the win as expected here. He got the win with a bulldog off the top rope. Nice looking move here by Maverick, and he got the win here. So Nese falls to 0-2. That tells you what they think of him. And Maverick is 1-1 now. We had promoted for next week's program, which was actually taped after this program. We have Charlotte Flair taking on Io Shirai for the NXT Women's title, Johnny Gargano taking on Dominik Dijakovic, and Adam Cole versus Velveteen Dream for the NXT title here. Those are all scheduled for next week. Clearly, the reason why they're doing this is because this is code for we better get these matches done because AEW is going to be live in Jacksonville next week, which they are going to. So clearly this was done to try to get ratings here. We know that AEW is going to be back live here next week, so that's why they're doing all this stuff. Your main event for the night here was the NXT North American title match here with Keith Lee defending that title against Damian Priest. It's a good match, I thought. Obviously, good storytelling from these guys, playing up the history. Keith Lee ultimately did retain in the end. He won after hitting 2 spirit bombs on Priest to win and close out the show and retain the title. So that was NXT that took place from Full Sail University in Winter Park, Florida. Let's move on to AEW Wednesday Night Dynamite. It took place once again from the Nightmare Factory in Norcross, Georgia. Tony Schiavone and Chris Jericho were on the call here. And before we go on, this was the episode that Tony Khan, the CEO of AEW, claims that this episode of Dynamite will be, quote, the best wrestling TV show in months anywhere. So we'll see if he lives up to the hype here or not. The show opened with a video package about Cody Rhodes and Darby Allin's match that's coming up here first on the show. So they opened with a video package highlighting these two's rivalry here. So we get that match here. Cody Rhodes and Darby Allin in the semifinals of the TNT Championship Tournament here. I thought this was a good match. I did not think this was their best match. This went for quite a while here. Both guys obviously getting their stuff in. Brandy at one point on the outside got taken out by Darby Allin, I think by accident. She was helped to the back and ultimately would eventually come down later on in the match near the end here to try to give water to Cody, but Darby was able to fight that off. He actually hit Cody with the water bottle. We get to the end of the match here. Darby Allin goes off the top rope, actually hits his coffin drop, but Cody did roll his shoulders up. Very sloppy pin here. Did not look good. And the referee did count it down. It was Aubrey Edwards, but clearly Darby Allin's shoulders were not on the mat, but she counted it anyways. So Cody won. I suppose this was supposed to be the finish, but it looked very sloppy here. And I know a lot of people were disappointed that Darby Allin didn't win. Cody Rhodes winning here was expected. So I get it, but still, you knew what they were doing, what they were eventually going for here. We had another Scorpio Sky video package that aired next, basically focusing on how he joined SCU, so we had that. We had MJF make an appearance here. This was edited in. He appeared from his home saying that his hangnail was healed, but now he's got another injury. He nicked his neck shaving, so he's wearing this big neck brace here. So very, very serious, dangerous stuff here from MJF. Hopefully he'll live, so we had that. We had his muscle, Warlord, in action next, taking on Musa here. Warlord won very easily and won in a short order with the airplane spin for the win, so another dominating effort here. We had a new episode of the Bubbly Bunch. This time, Sammy Guevara was gloating about having the best flim flam dance. That was on last week's program with the referencing. Ortiz said that Jericho won last week, but then Santana disagreed. Jericho announced a Manitoba melee, which led to a montage of a bunch of different people fighting to get each other over on FaceTime. Those including Vicky Guerrero, Kevin Smith, Gabriel Iglesias, and Lou Ferrigno. So some well-known people there. Tag team action here was next in a no disqualification match. We had the Best Friends with Orange Cassidy in their corner taking on Jimmy Havoc and Kip Sabian, of course, with Penelope Ford in their corner here. This was essentially a hardcore match if you want to look at it. All the weapons came into play. I thought it was okay. I mean, it's nothing we've not seen before. I didn't think this was all that exciting. Just a lot of weapons here, a lot of things like that. Ultimately, Chuck Taylor won for his team, so the Best Friends got the win. He pinned Jimmy Havoc after hitting the awful waffle onto a pile of chairs. So the Best Friends here get the win here. I thought it was just an okay match. We had a promo here from Britt Baker in her dental office in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, introducing her makeup artist, who she called Reba, but it's Rebel, of course. Basically, Britt talks about how some people can't be role models, taking a shot at Bayley there a little bit, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Then she was using photos of Tony Schiavone to illustrate her points at times. So clearly, Britt Baker has a lot of respect for Tony Schiavone. Apparently, Tony Schiavone has no problem with her doing this. I think it's pretty good what they've been doing. It's been some of the best stuff on AEW, in my opinion. Shawn Spears, the chairman of the board himself, took on Baron Black here. Spears dominated. He won with the sharpshooter, and he basically got Black to tap out, and he says the sharpshooter is going to be his own now. So Shawn Spears looking pretty good here. We had Marco Stunt being interviewed backstage next. He said that he knew a lot of people don't think he belongs, but even with Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy unable to be here, he wants to prove himself. So he's going to be a one-on-one here because he's in the match next against Brody Lee here. Marco Stunt hangs in with Brody Lee for a while, does get some offense in on him, but ultimately Brody Lee was able to win after hitting a big powerbomb for the win. So Brody Lee wins as he should have. We got Jon Moxley in a promo here. He's talking about the things that he's thankful for, and he promised to be at AEW Dynamite next week. And we should make note that he was by a graffiti-covered wall in the desert. So there you go. Your main event for the night here was the other semifinals match of the TNT Championship Tournament. Here we had Lance Archer taking on Dustin Rhodes here. Pretty good stuff here. They actually gave this match quite a bit of time here. I think Dustin Rhodes got quite a bit of offense and a lot more than I would have thought he would have gotten in on Lance Archer. Towards the end of the match here, Cody Rhodes came back out. Of course, if you were paying attention, Brandy Rhodes, she came out with Dustin here, and if you were paying attention, she was wearing a different outfit because this was actually not supposed to be on this episode. This was actually supposed to be on another episode, but they actually put both of them on this episode, so that's why she wasn't selling her injuries from earlier in the show, so hopefully you guys caught that. So eventually, Cody Rhodes, towards the end of the match, does come down to consider throwing in the towel for his brother who had been bleeding and busted open. Dustin didn't want him to do it. Then they're arguing, and then Archer pulled Dustin back into the ring, and then he just slammed his head against the mat several times before pinning him. And so Lance Archer does beat Dustin Rhodes, as expected, to advance to the TNT Championship Tournament final, where he's going to be taking on Cody Rhodes. So they went the very predictable route here. I mean, no big drama here. So no big surprise here. So that was the AEW Wednesday Night Dynamite that took place from the Nightmare Factory in Norcross, Georgia. Let's talk about the Wednesday Night War ratings. They're in for the week. AEW Dynamite did win in the viewership battle once again. Both shows were down, however, from last week. AEW won this week with 693,000 viewers. They were down 5.2% from last week. And NXT had 637,000 viewers. They were down 4.2% from last week. So AEW won by 8.8% in the viewership battle. AEW ranked 16th in the Cable 150 and 18 to 49 demo, while NXT was 51st. AEW was 67th in viewership, while NXT was 70th. The combined audience is the second lowest in history, behind the April 1st episode. Last week, Dynamite did 731,000 viewers, and NXT did 665,000 viewers. AEW ranked 24th in the demo last week and 68th in viewership, while NXT ranked 50th in the demo and 70th in viewership. So NXT was right where they were from the previous week, while AEW moved up one spot in viewership. AEW did a 0.27 rating in the demo, which was up from their 0.25 from the previous week. NXT did a 0.16 in the demo. They fell from 0.18 last week. So AEW won by 69% in the demo. The Challenge on MTV topped the night in the demo with a 0.57 rating, but just over 1 million viewers. Tucker Carlson tonight on Fox News Channel topped the night in viewership with 4.463 million viewers, ranking 4th in the demo with a 0.37 rating. Survivor on CBS television topped the night on network television viewership with 8.081 million viewers. And The Masked Singer on Fox Network topped the night in the demo with a 2.0 rating. So with AEW winning the viewership battle this week, AEW leads now 24 weeks to 5 weeks for NXT in the one tie. My pick of the week is AEW. I will say their show this week was better than NXT. As for Tony Khan's claim that this was the best TV wrestling show in months anywhere, clearly it was an overreaction, over-exaggeration on his part. I thought this was a better effort. I will give credit for that, but this was clearly not the best show I've seen on TV wrestling in months. So, a big swing and a miss on Tony Khan's part there. I thought they did a better job, but this was just not it. So we did acknowledge that AEW Wednesday Night Dynamite is going to be live coming up this week. NXT is going to be taped. They taped 2 episodes this past Wednesday. The May 6th episode that's going to come up will be a taped episode. So WWE is going to be back to be taping starting Monday, May 11th down in the PC in Orlando. So there you go. So through 28 picks, I have NXT with 17 picks and AEW with 11 picks.